take it to the house.
Baylor hosts Kansas. Shock Linwood leads the Bear rushing game. It's 5th best in the country. They ought to get another weapon back, too. Katie Cannon's coming back. Kansas narrowly missed against TCU. Baylor is likely to hand Kansas its record 38 straight road loss as Baylor tries to keep on the winning side.
Good snap, good hold. The kick is good. And there's zeros on the clock. Baylor wins over Iowa State.
The Iowa State game woke us up a little bit. Typically, if you go into a game where you're favored, especially if you're heavily favored, sometimes you get caught off guard. I think it's a good message for our whole football team that there's nobody left on our schedule that we're not capable of beating, but there's not anybody left on our schedule that's not capable of beating us.
You saw this week how games can sway one way or another. You have to bring a game every game. As long as we focus on what we can do, execute at a high level, we can win ball games.
Baylor's been getting off to a bit of a slow start. If you look at the numbers, strength of schedule is what you would expect, though their strength of record's pretty good, and the rest of their strength of schedule from this point forward is pretty good, top 30 in the country going on, but still with the efficiencies down, you just don't know about Baylor. In fact, we have a question from an undecided about Baylor.
Herbie, Dez, Coach Corso, is Baylor really worth that number 11 ranking?
So,
Good question.
What do you say? Are they worth the number 11
question?
Waco is a beautiful town. I've enjoyed the barbecue there when we go down there. Honestly, what Jim Grobe has done in a very, very difficult set of circumstances has been very impressive. Phil Bennett being on the defensive side, and I think holding on to the entire staff. Kendall Briles calling the plays. This is still a team that can score a lot of points. Seth Russell, quarterback, Shock Linwood, Katie Cannon, great group of receivers. But what Reese just said is accurate. We don't know. They beat Oklahoma State. They went on the road and beat Iowa State in Ames by 3 in a last-second field goal. But their last preseason game, it's like the NFL. It's like the last preseason game is today.
Yeah.
After this, it's at Texas, TCU, at Oklahoma, Kansas State, Texas Tech, and at West Virginia. Yeah. We'll find out in the next few weeks. But right now, I don't know. I don't know who Baylor is.
They have beaten no one in the top 25, that's for sure. And we won't know till 2 games. At Oklahoma, at West Virginia in November. Yeah. That will determine how good they are.
Yeah, well, they're like Nebraska to me. We still don't know because they haven't played anybody. And it starts today, I think that. But, you know, they've won their games. They got 3 teams ahead of them that with 1 loss, you know, 3 one-loss teams ahead of them. So I think they're where they're supposed to be right now. But that's why we keep playing the game. So be patient.
Yeah.
No, you know, and also you still have West Virginia sitting there undefeated. They've got a tough task at Texas Tech. Red Raiders have scored 50 or more, 9 straight at home. That's an NCAA record. Bear, how are you feeling about Texas Tech, West Virginia?
What do you want to know? How many?
It's going to be a shootout, right?
Say service breaks. The typical Big 12 game. But I will say this though: West Virginia's defense is played pretty well this year. Yeah. So they're the one team that I think, and that maybe Kansas State played them last week, but maybe the one team that could slow them down a little bit.
Let me give you one more, Bear. Road teams won 5 straight. Kansas State, Oklahoma.
Windy weather there. No rain,
right.
but very windy. That could affect Oklahoma's passing game, and they're really beat up. I mean, K-State's gone in there last couple of times as the big underdog and won. Be interesting today. K-State's defense is pretty good.
Especially against the run.
That wind is not going to affect Kansas State's passing game. Jesse Ertz is under 50%.
Not at all.
I think we have another question for the Bear from an undecided.
Bear, the number 1 and number 2 teams are big favorites today.